Hey guys, welcome back. So the other day, stand that up a little bit. The other day I started doing a video and my microphone, the batteries died, so it cut out. So I've got a little bit of that. I'll probably throw it in here. And what I want to do is make a hoist attachment that I can use with this. I could use it with my forklift, whatever, that doesn't strap chains all over this motor and start breaking plastic pieces. So I went looking for some straps with bolt hole attachments on both ends and ended up talking to a couple of different companies, and if I had them make me something, they wanted about $20–25 a piece for something like this. And I just kept looking. I was like, somewhere there's got to be a part already made, and you can buy the actual product to do this job. Somebody already makes it, and it's about $200. Or I finally found if you went to like a dune buggy shop or a four-wheel drive shop, you could buy suspension limit straps. So that keeps the suspension from overextending, protects basically the shocks, and they're about $5 or $6 a piece. So I got all of those, I think, for less than 20 bucks. I bought one of the least expensive versions of a pitch adjuster, angle adjuster for the motor. Of course, it comes with chains. And I think I just bought this off Amazon. And you can see, it's actually backwards. Anyway, what I did is I bought this Hoist, this deal where you can change the pitch of the engine, and had change coming off of it. You'll see that if I get that other video on there. Then I drill out some holes, put these straps on here, hoping that was going to make it a little friendlier for this engine and the 3.5 liter, the EcoBoost that's in the Mustang, and these engines that are real wide and have a lot of plastic parts on them. I was hoping the straps were going to do that. And I kind of started playing with it, and these things are all still laying over a lot of places that I'd rather not have that kind of stuff. So what we're going to do instead is I went and bought some more. I had this one piece, but I went and bought a stick of this. I'm going to use about 4 feet total, two 2-foot sections. And I was thinking I was going to put them on the inside, but that would limit how much this could actually change the pitch on. So I think I'm going to weld them on the outside out here. And then the other thing I want to do is I want to get rid of this handle. So I went and got a socket that'll fit this nut, and I'm just going to weld all that together and get rid of the handle, and then I can run it with a drill or a socket wrench. So that's the project for today. We're building an engine hoist, or not the hoist, but the attachment here to pick this up, and that'll get, by having these arms out here, then I can put the straps out here on the ends, and then they're kind of hanging almost straight down to the engine. So that's kind of where I was at phase 1, and I don't like that, so we're going to phase 2, and I hope you guys enjoy. We'll get on it. Okay guys, so here's all the parts, I guess. I need to clean up the edges on all that, and then I'm going to end up, so I'm going to weld these to the outside, something like that. I need to clean up some of the powder coat on here, take these straps off, and then decide how I'm going to attach the straps in here. I think I'm going to put a slot on the inside of here and put it on the inside rather than just bolting it to the outside. But let me get this taken apart, and I'll make that decision next. Alright, as we grind that stuff the red away and set that right in there centered on that, and then I can cut the arm off. That'll let it get a little bit lower. So I can either do it right here, which would be fine, but what I'm thinking about is cutting a slot in there and then bolting all the way through, which is probably serious overkill as far as worrying about whether it's in double shear and that kind of stuff. But This is 2 inches, so we'll go 2 inches each side of this center line, or an inch each side of the center line rather. This is my center line. That's 1 inch each side. So now when I clamp this up, it's going to go something like that. I'll flip it over so I can see it from the other side. I can see it around these edges. And I'm going to take a little more of this off the edge. Now visually that looks pretty darn straight. What I did was line up on the back side. I lined up the edges with my chalk lines. Before we make it harder to work with, let's go ahead and get our slots in here. Before we make this harder to work with, let's get our slots in here for these. And we want them not just to go down in there tight and then be stuck that way. I want them to be able to pivot, you know, a few degrees anyway. So these are about, this tape measure is about wore out. That's what the problem is. These are about 2 3/8 inches wide at the flats. See how you got a flat on both sides. So that's about 2 3/8 inches wide. So that's the edge and that's the edge. That added about 3/8. That'd be. I'll just make the slot 3 inches wide. Let's see, and I don't want it right on the edge here. I want to leave about a 1/2 inch. So I'm going to go in 3.5 inches. And 3.5 inches. And while we're doing this, I'm going to do both at once. Then we're going to come in a 1/2 inch from the edge. Alright, so it goes from there to there. And this thing is more than an 1/8, but not quite. Yeah, maybe 3/16 inch. So we're going to make our slot, we'll just make it a 1/4 inch wide slot. These are 1 inch bars, so come in 3/8 on each edge. It's a little bigger than a 1/4 inch, but I'll adjust that with my plasma cutter. I would say that's acceptable. Now we'll take the die grinder again, just clean up the inside of those holes a little bit. That'll get both of those, so we can get that inside there, and it's got some room to pivot. So then, just need to come off the center of that slot and place a hole on the outsides, or all the way through rather. So let's see. We got. I'm just eyeballing these. You know, they don't need to be machine perfect, square, straight, or anything. So no sense of spending a lot of time trying to get everything perfect. I mean, it just doesn't need that kind of precision. And then if that was in there, with the room to slide. Going to be right in that area. I'll make us a mark. Works out to be just about 1 inch up, a little under. There you go. Now, drill those holes out. You mark this so I don't lose it. Mark this one too. And get those 4 holes drilled all the way through. I'm going to put 1/2-inch bolts in them, and then I'll take these and go ahead and weld them up. So may as well get the holes drilled while I can get to it easy also. Holes drilled all the way through. I went and drilled them on the drill press, so got a couple of burrs to clean up. Anyway, I was saying I went and drilled them on the drill press so that they would be straight through and I wouldn't have to worry about the bolt hole being crooked if I tried to drill it by hand. So these are ready. I'm going to clean them up with a little bit of brake clean and a rag so that I can get this film off of them, and then I'm going to go ahead and get this first one welded up. Alright, so you're going to use brake cleaner on something like this where you're going to be welding. It cleans it up just fine, but make sure you use one that says it's non-chlorinated. I'll hide the brand name here because I don't get anything special from them. But non-chlorinated brake cleaner. And I always forget the name of the gas, but if you, whoops, I just washed off my chalk lines. We'll just redo them. If you mess up and use chlorinated, they're still on there a little bit. Just get everything lined up and mark them again. Anyway, you can still see the lines kind of. Anyway, if you mess up and use a chlorinated brake cleaner, the heating of it, I believe it's the heating of it that causes the problem, but it creates a gas called like fluorine or something like that. Anyway, it's toxic, and you don't want that crap in your system. Sure, I could look it up online and get you the exact answer, but I'm not going to do it today. Anyway, so make sure you use a non-chlorinated or use acetone, but take care of yourself. There's no sense in getting sick over welding up a little project, so let's go ahead and get this over here, and we'll clamp this in place again. Again, I want this square, but I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time worrying about it either. So really about as close as I can see right now. And this would be a good job for a stick welder if you had one of those. And the only reason I say that is because it's all fairly heavy metal. Or, like me, I'm going to use a MIG. You could weld it with TIG. Be a great project if you're still learning your TIG skills and stuff, because you'd be doing different kinds of welds across the whole thing. Trying not to hang it on the actual piece there, just because it'll pull down one side or another until I get it tack welded. Bottom side. That's the nuts welded on there. I'll clean up the I just touched the collar, the spacer collar right there. See, that thing's hot. See it smoking off my gloves. I'm just gonna try and take that little spot off. Alright, now that thing can free float. Next up, I gotta let this thing cool off quite a bit. And then I'm gonna paint the arms red. Okay guys, so there it is, installed, in use, I guess. A couple things I would do differently after using it. I like everything I did as far as the welding and the building of it. The couple things I would change is I bought 21-inch long straps, and that was because when I thought I was going to do it up here at the center and they were going to come around, I was going to need the length. I'm going to go ahead and reorder some new ones. For the LT4, it would work really well if the opposite corners were 12-inch and these opposite corners were 9 inches long. There would be some bowl holes right here on top of the heads that would be easy to get to. But probably for the LS engine, keeping them all the same length and probably in the 12-inch range would be plenty, unless you have the tall truck intake, and then you might want, you know, like a 14-inch or something like that. I think on the EcoBoost engine, it looked like it was kind of going to work well if they were about 12 inches long. So I'm going to order a pair of 12s, or I'm going to actually order 4 12s, and then I'm going to order a pair of 9s, and then I'll just swap them out as I need to. But this is all going to work. I like the socket welded on there, so if you want to do it manually, you can crank it either way and tilt it. And then, because I plan to be lazy, I can plug my drill in with an adapter and move it however I want to move it. So that's it. That's my plan. It worked out really well. It is functional just like it is. I just, you know, to make it a little cleaner install or use, if you had shorter straps, it's going to make it nice. These would also work, you know, on your regular small block Fords, Chevys, Dodges as well. So anyway, I'm going to get this motor pulled up out of here and get started swapping out get the oil pan back off, get all my stuff done, or all my pickup tubes and everything changed out. And then I'm going to drop it back in one more time once everything's sealed up, and put the front runner kit on it. And then it's I need to build my radiator support so I can hang the fenders and everything off. So that's where I'm at today, and you guys have a great one. We'll see you. Hey guys, welcome back to Allison Customs, Project Car TV. So I've got some new t-shirts finally came in. There's black and gray, and the way I'm going to set this up is, if you're interested in buying one of the shirts, you'll be able to send a payment through PayPal at Jeffrey@AllisonCustomsOnline.com. I'll put that in the description. I'll also flash it up here on the screen. And they're going to be $20 for the contiguous 48 states, and that includes the shipping for both gray and black, large and extra large. I am going to do a deal. If you buy 3, I'll do it for $55 for the 3 of them, so save a little bit there. And again, there's still just large and extra large on sizes, any combination of the black and gray. And then, like I said, I'll put some pictures up here after this so you can kind of get a little better view of them. But I do want to thank y'all for watching all the channels, and anybody who was asking about t-shirts finally coming out, here they are. Like I said, $20 through PayPal, and I'll put the address up on the screen and in the comments. So have a great day.
Thanks for watching Allison Customs Project Car TV. Like us on Facebook and check us out at AllisonCustomsOnline.com.